If you're growing a Skool community or posting content and hoping that eventually it will turn into income, this video might save you months, maybe even years. I've been posting content and trying to build an audience for years, and the moment I started getting paid had nothing to do with my community. Every single person who paid me in the beginning, we had just met, we had conversations on the same day, and they made their decision on the same day. And now I've spoken to over 50 people on Skool, building communities, posting consistently, waiting for monetization, and quietly wondering what they're doing wrong. If that's you, this video is for you. A lot of people join Skool after seeing an ad on social media that says, if you're a spiritual person, we want you on Skool. If you're a musician, we want you on Skool. If you're an electrician, we want you on Skool. And don't get me wrong, I love Skool. I think it's so powerful. I actually have my whole business on there, and I love building communities. I think it can really help you in your business, but I think what's missing is the order. You need to do the things in the right order when you're starting out. Let's just talk for a second about the principles of business. Business is an exchange of value. This is what money is at the end of the day. People pay when they know what they're getting, when they know about the specific outcome they'll get to, and when they believe that change will actually happen. And here's the uncomfortable part. Change is uncomfortable, and this is why people pay for support. Let me give you an image. If you're trying to get in shape and that you go to the gym, you can watch YouTube videos and try to get fit within the next 3 months on your own, or you can get a coach who will help you from the beginning until the end, who will lead you to a specific result, who will support you and be here holding your hand with you every step of the way. And you and I both know that the second one is much more powerful, that you're much more likely to succeed when you actually have someone to do the thing with you, especially when they know what they're talking about. They've helped people already and they are knowledgeable. Now, this is why one-on-one coaching is always much easier to sell at the beginning. The value in a one-on-one coaching program is very obvious. The responsibility is shared as well. The coach has a very strong responsibility in getting the client to succeed. Even though it's a co-creation process and the coachee actually needs to do the work, the coach is here to guide. And here's the question I always ask to people who have just started a Skool community on calls. I just ask them, how do you know that what you've got in your community, your courses, everything you've built in there and that you want to monetize, how do you know that this is valuable if you haven't even tested it with one person? How do you know that people would pay for this? How do you know that people could actually succeed if you haven't tested it on 20 people, for example, right? Like with a repeatable process from A to B. And I hear you saying right now, hey, but I've done it myself. And I agree with you. You've done it. Maybe you've made money, you got in shape, you transformed in some way. But helping someone do this thing is a completely different thing. And helping 20 people do it in a repeatable way is a very different skill as well. You need to learn where people get stuck, what they misunderstand, their blind spots, and what you thought would help but actually doesn't. You can only get to that level of understanding about your audience and how to help them achieve the result that you want them to achieve by working one-on-one with them. Here's the reason why most Skool communities don't monetize. Most Skool communities, they don't fail because the creator is stupid or because the platform is bad or because they don't have the right idea, right? They fail because there's no specific A point and specific B point to get to. They just help people or certain people with a certain problem, but there's not a specific starting point and a specific ending point. And so what happens is that people join, they consume the content, they feel inspired, they connect with other people, but there's no real transformation that's happening in their lives. And if there's no change, people won't pay for anything. So think about it yourself as a buyer. If you know exactly what you're going to get for the money that you're going to give away, then you're so much more likely to actually make a decision. But when you're not sure, when you just think that you're going to be helped to feel better in your life, would you actually spend the money? There are so many paths up to the top of the mountain where you find freedom, a big audience, impact, visibility, a big community. And so building a community is one path, but it's not the fastest path for someone who doesn't have an audience, who is new to business and who's just starting out. The fastest path is actually to help just one person change, not 100, not 1,000, just one, and then another one, and then another one, and then another one. And then you start learning about what you're doing. You start learning about how to teach that skill that you've known for so long. And because you start helping so many people, then the community grows. It suddenly becomes a community of people who really trust you, whose life you have changed because you've been helping them so deeply. The risk with taking the community path is that you just end up with so many people who are just here hanging out, But remember that there's so much information online with YouTube, Google. You can just get any AI now. You can get any information you want in seconds. And so it's really hard to get someone to pay for information. It's so much easier to get someone to pay through implementation. And the fastest you get to that first step of the stairs or the path to the top of the mountain, the better. Because the more you succeed, the more you're likely to succeed, and the more you're likely to go up to the top of the mountain. That's why I believe that taking the fastest path is actually really smart at the beginning. And so what happens is once you have helped multiple people through one-on-one work, not only you trust your process, but you know what works. And you also know what to charge for, and you feel really confident about the whole process. Only then you can turn this into group coaching or digital products or a paid community, using Skool properly as the container, not the other way around. So if right now you're on Skool and you're feeling stuck, you're like, how can I grow my community? You actually don't need more content, you don't need more members. What you need is to sit down with yourself and think about one clear outcome that you can get people to within a couple of months. You also need to think about who that person will be and what process you're going to use to get them from A to B. If you do that first and then let the community build passively, then you have a business. But the risk with taking the community route with courses, content, is that it doesn't work and that you spend your whole life putting so much work out there trying to bring people together and not making any changes in people's lives. So the whole point of this video is just to make you realize that maybe there's not just one path to the top of the mountain. Maybe you can be on the same platform, you can have the same concept, helping the same kind of people, but just doing things in a slightly different way so that you can start having the impact that you truly want to have in the world. And that, my friend, starts with one person. And I can truly tell you that it's life-changing when you start doing this work. And if you're here sitting thinking, hey, but I don't like one-on-one work, I just want to do the community, yes, this will come later. And the fastest you do the one-on-one work, the faster you can scale and have more freedom in your business, in your life, and reach the top of the mountain. I'm on this path myself, and I can tell you that it's really enjoyable to actually feel like you're having an impact and you're helping people change for the better, even if it starts with one-on-one, and then as you go, you can scale. If you're willing to know more about how to get your first paying client, feel free to join the Aligned Creators community by clicking the link below. I'd be able to chat with you on there as well. And this is a really great space if you're looking to actually succeed by building a community and a coaching practice online. And if you want to know exactly how to get your first paying client, just click on the video right here and I'll see you in the next one.